you, then what are the main points to be done? What are the various gaps within the research? Which is the gaps you are going to identify if it is a secondary research? Then other, especially as and when work is done, how you are going to present it. So, is there any question on yesterday's presentation, or we left as it is yesterday only? You can able to see full screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Yeah, so today we talk about it is very, very important for all so-called good integrated India, integral and so-called moral ethics, whatever you name it. Okay. So ethics is the one of the, it is not necessary only on research and publications. It is even our day-to-day life as well. So it is specific to the research. We talked about yesterday research. It is not like just we are going to copy from some place to other place and where we are going to do certain damages. So whatever you say something wrong, that is what we are calling unethical. So as publication is the one of the maybe now UGC removed that publications also. It is not necessary to have publications for getting the PhD degree. But however, it is very, very important to spell out what is the work done by you people, right? So when we talk about ethics, which means the types of rules to conduct the moral principles, right? Maybe gains importance when it comes to creating the knowledge of any kind of specifically in domain of research, because the outcome of research is the directly influenced by integrity of the researcher. So it is not like quoting one place to another places where because nowadays it can be caught easily because of plagiarism. And maybe yesterday I was talking to Rao sir. 10 years back in Mumbai University itself, there are some guides and some the group or team where they transport the thesis to one university to another university to another university. The topic is same, only so-called researchers are different. The one who is getting the degree person was different, which is really really because the one who is putting efforts to learn and come out with good research, that is not able to done by the people, and just uh, sending somewhere and taking some money and doing some illegalities and trying to fool the universities and management and everywhere. So that is what the ethics about. Okay, the topic of research ethics is very important, not only when conducting the research, but also when publicizing it. Because doing one thing is properly is one part, and when you are publishing, also very very you need to follow the certain ethics. It is one of the crucial pillars for the maintaining scientific integrity and as well as the credibility, because people could not see the oh, somebody will do work and somebody else will project, only my name will be added. So that are the things to be avoided. Okay, here everybody we expect the pair practice to be followed, and there should not be any lies, because if it's not, truth always prevails. Sometimes you do some lies somewhere, you'll be caught. There will be a lot of challenges where you need to be. It is like a court case, right? You do wrong and you go and stand, and then again, even though sometimes you're not done wrong, somebody said something, and where you need to be punished. So it is very, very, very important for the researchers maybe research institutions, or it can be any publishers, because nowadays so many people are coming out with the so-called nothing less than international publications. Okay, mushroom like anything, pay some money, publish it. Okay, so what is the implication of that and how it is because we want to publish some papers, or it is a minimum requirements by the people, hence we are going to do it. So here in this particular talk, you need to know, we'll be talking certain things on what is the ethical issues in research. Already that you might be, we discussed yesterday also, even wherever it came out, we spelled out that. And you should be in position at the end of talk, what are the various concepts and procedures related to ethics to be followed. Because many times we do know it without study, without understanding, but still we do always shortcuts and do wrong things. That is what we are talking about. The ethics comes only doing right things. And also, what is the most important for the research, including the publications? That is what is going to be covered as a the outline of this today's presentations. You will be uh, talking about publication ethics. What is the definition of that? What is the how the publication ethics can be avoided, and what is its importance? And there is always conflict of interest is the one which I am going to touch as for the topics. And what are the best practices? What are the various standard organizations which are available, which are already given some best practices or best standard things which guidelines are already available, where you can able to go through it as well. And how you can avoid publication misconduct, what is the publication misconduct, and how that this will lead to unethical behavior and vice versa types, where we can able to come out proper ethical version. Then violation of publication ethics, maybe in terms of authorship or in terms of contributionship. So these are the things which to be dealt in this particular presentation, along with the how, what are the ways to identification for the publication misconduct in terms of maybe there are certain people who are enmity doing same work, might be in case complaint comes at any level, and what type of appeals can be done and how it can be avoided. And predatory publishers is the other one, which is the yesterday also one of you are pointing out. There is industry products and all certain things are not available at all. So here, what are journals to be done? How you, what are the steps involved in to find out predatory, and then how you can do the good journals and publish. So these are the points which I am going to touch today. uh, what is the objectives for us? At the end of thing, we need to know what we are going to do it, right? First objective is, as I said, as for the topic, to know about the publication ethics. That publication ethics for baby, you should also aware of as we defined and going to explain and their importance as well as. And to distinguish about the best practices standards which are already what are the guidelines are there by various standard international organizations, where it can be medical domain, it may be pharmacy domain, it may be engineering domain, it may be anywhere where unethical practices are there. So some good practices are good guidelines which are given. And to conjecture about the possible scientific misconducts, which is the another one which to be taken care. And what are the redundant publications which are there? How we can able to summarize those redundant publications where the where you can find easily the redundancy, whether it is the title, whether it is the body of text, whether it's the results, whether it's the observations, whether it's the conclusions. So those things is we can able to summarize by looking into this particular topic to distinguish between the duplicate and overlapping publications. And this is another way how we can able to do it. And also to interfere selective reporting and misrepresentation of data, and to search for the reasons, the evidence and or argument for warranty that might support one belief rather than another. So these are the maybe what are the topics of today's. Each case, one objective is framed where you are in position to comfortably aware, and going to follow future as well. So when we talk about public publication ethics, because the definition and introduction, what we are about, as I mentioned, the ethics, the term is generally defined as set of principles and distinguish between the acceptable and unacceptable behavior, if it is a certain human related way of conducting a task, right? We know certain procedures to be followed. Maybe we are not able to do it, that to be done in systematic way. And the guidelines is the one which is already available, good practices, guidelines, and good principles also available, not only within the country, even across the countries, and various disciplines. As I mentioned, it is not necessary to only one particular discipline, and it can be the good practices are also will be available, ethics practices in terms of various institutions and various laboratories. But wherever, whichever, even each center, Ph.D. center, also the once your pre-synopsis is done, where it will go through your ethical committee, which is of institutional level, which is formed, or center level or lab level. So, what are the ethical issues one should think of, right? So, why is it very important? So, because we are learning and we are researchers, and we must follow certain ethics codes. Are we aware of that ethic codes, right? So that's why you need to know the importance of this, right? Truth and honesty. So those things will really help you grow in with integrate means good credible manner in the society. Okay. Then how whatever you are doing, how does adherence to these can impact the learner's credibility and repute in the scientific community, because you are not doing your so-called publications to promote or to get degree and all of that. So people should be loving your what when is next paper is going to come and how it can be done. Okay, so to do that, one of the first things which you need to know is the ethical codes not only help maintaining scientific integrity, okay, but also safeguard the primary aim of conducting the research, right? Especially to promote the knowledge and truth. Okay, so uh, if we are not following the ethical code, and there's no scientific integrity, and how whatever research you conduct, how we can say that is good, right? And we cannot able to promote the truth and good knowledge, and that is what one should always aim for, right? You are a good researcher, you have integrity and following the basic procedures, right? And going to publish where there is a certain things which always to be learned. And secondly, the values which are promoting that uh, that should have trust, because somebody should, by knowing some person, there should be some trust. Yes, so and so it can be believed and can be trustable, and the respect, and as well as objectivity in collaborative work, because you are doing good work. There may be many people who are want to do it in similar fashion. There will be possibility to collaborate, right? And many times to avoid that complex conflicts which are related to, maybe in the form of authorship, in the form of copyrights, or in any other case where whatever you are talking about. One is we are talking about good research and avoiding your the conflicts, and second one we are talking about collaboration and having good rapport between the people who are collaborated, and having good authorship as well as copyrights, and so on and so on. And moreover, the codes, ethical codes help maintaining the safety and interest of the human subjects and ensure appropriate care of, because somebody may be doing on animal, somebody may be doing on human trials, right, or clinical trials, it may be medical related, or somebody may be setting the laboratory settings. So whichever you are following, so each case there are different codes of conducts, there are certain guidelines, there are principles, there are already, it is given, like ICMR is one of them, then maybe Medical Council of India, okay, maybe Pharmacy Council of India. So yeah, there are certain councils where you can do what type of research and how you can do it, by keeping in the ethics to consideration. And this ethics especially makes the researchers accountable, right? So anywhere you coming out with small issues and problems, then you will be disqualified for further any funding and all, because the one who does good research, it is not like that distinct to the, as we talking again and again, only PhD degree and promotions. We are going the quality and we are coming out. So there are many people, many organizations, including IITs, the amount how much they get through the projects and the research work is much more than their own salaries, right? So when the research is published, there are many funding agencies who can sponsor it. Not only the funding, there are so many consultants wanted to be guided in that direction. So that's why you will get direct or indirectly the not only the financial related, but also the respect and other things. So these are the things, these are the reasons why everyone to be following the research work or ethical code. Okay. So what is the research ethics timeline, right? While publication. So one of them, every time we are talking about integrity. So what is that integrity, right? So fulfill your promises and obligations, whatever you want to agreements, and so sincerely and consistently in your actions and thoughts, right? If you say you are a complete person, what do you mean by that? You are you are good integral person. That means you are talking about you are very much reliable, trustable, the and you are doing what you are saying it. So that's why you are promising something, you are fulfilling that. There's no obligations, there's no arguments, and also you are consistent in your job, and whatever action you take or whatever publications you do in terms of thoughts, that is consistency. Hence, that we are calling as a integrity. This is one of the main parameter under publications or research publication, right? Then Honesty is the second important ethical point. So what is the honesty? When I always say the honesty is the best policy. It is not come just like that. So it is come with the so many practices, so many things were done or got the benefited. So here we are communicating and the report of your research data. We are talking about research related, and as well as the results, methods used, procedures used, and publications, and all this status to be honestly. Strictly avoid falsification is the another one, and somewhere something you need to identify that my paper is better than this. Sometimes fabrication is the another one where which will people will do wrong things and do one thing and report something else, and misrepresentation of research output. Okay, so being a honesty, as again repeating, whether it is in the data related or result related, methodology related or procedures related, or in case even publication related, you should be honest enough. You are giving the only facts what you have observed or what you are analyzed, what you got the outcome, right? And you must avoid being, you are, suppose somebody says you are honest in terms of publication ethics, you should not follow, give any falsification of data or wrong publication results, right? Any misrepresentation of your research work or your in the publication as well. So that is what the important one is, the honesty. Okay. Third one is the objectivity. Okay. So here we are talking about avoiding bias experiments, right? So, or if I want to study something, and there should not be any biasing related. So I need to get independently. Well, it may be study design, or it may be data analysis, or it may be data interpretation, or it may be peer review, or it can be personal decisions, or it may be writing a proposal for the grant, or in all this case, disclose both personal and financial interests. So your objective should be very clear, crystal clear. So if you have known somebody, that's why you are applying for the funding, then that is not what you are talking about. There is no ethical in that. Okay. So your experiments or your data itself, whatever you the type of way of your know how to interpret the things, and knowing the reviews and personal decisions, if all this can help you, okay, having the objectivity of your publication or research work. Okay. Uh, the competency is the another one where you can strive to improve your expertise and take effective steps to avoidance competence in our own field. So nowadays, maybe people wanted multidisciplinary, but each disciplinary, maybe it is maybe impossible sometimes to be expert in each and every field, but surely your competence is the, because in medical education they talk about competence based education. Whereas engineering or others we are calling as a outcome-based education. So the outcome, what you are talking about, there we are talking about what is the competency learned by the learners or the one who is doing the work in that particular areas. Okay, so this is another important ethical point which is to be understood. Then we have carefulness. Carefulness is the one of them. It is combined two of them. Carefulness is the maintaining a good record of your research activities, including data collection and what are the correspondence which you do for journals, and thorough with what you are comments which are coming, through peer reviewers and avoiding the as many habits as possible. So yesterday also when we were talking about the research and that later, if you remember, there we are fully we told. See, because whenever you see that time you think that you know each and everything, right? No need of putting on black and white in paper or maybe digital form, any form of what we talked about yesterday. Same way, uh, if I am searching something, I am finding key points, I am decided my topic, and I am doing research on that, then again, there may be particular results which I have failed to get it, but still I am trying to do something else and relevant to that, what topic I have approved by the people. So in that case, it is as discussed yesterday as well as now also. Please keep records. Records is very important, and it can be anything. It can be data related collection, or it can be because many times yesterday, but because last week we organized one of the IEEE conference, and the authors who are sent to us uh, are some of them students and some of them might be the teachers for them. So two authors or three authors are there. And when we told your favorite selected, then they at that time they said thank you and all of that. When it came to the final camera ready paper and as well as the submission of that, then that time which paper, which conference, where, how and all. That means because they don't have blindly same papers will be sent same time to different journals, maybe different conferences, and they don't care where they send and all. They don't have any systematic, carefully they are putting the records on their own table. But because of that, there is confusion. So that's why avoid that. Being ethical, being systematic, you must be careful for taking care about your own data. And openness is the another very, very important. Share your data, results, tools, resources, and ideas wherever we are publishing. So if you are keeping secret, oh, I don't want to disclose what way I done, what methods I used, what tools I used, how I got result. Only just talking about results, nobody appreciate. Be open, okay? And what are the best results you are going to do? What tools you are used? What type of resources required, misused for this your work? That you can be so open, and you must be uh, legality is the another very important ethical point, that is adhere to requirement of governmental and industrial laws and policies, right? So you cannot change or you cannot go beyond legal, right? Nobody is beyond law of land, we call it, right? So there are certain things where you need to follow. So if it is industrial, those who are working in industry follow the industrial laws, and if you are doing some organizations, it may be private or government, the government organizations already given some policies. So that is what you need to follow. So mainly the ethics relevant to your research and publications, as we talked about the integrity. So now you understood what is the meaning of integrity and honesty, how you can be fulfilling your the honesty, what are the work you are doing it, and your objectives, objectivity, what is the competencies also, how careful you're supposed to be, how open you are, because nowadays the people are open and be honest and frank, but people don't like them. Those who are dishonest and try to cheat them, they like very well. They are fall in love super fast. So that things is not acceptable, right? And especially you should not be end up with legally. So legality also to be checked while doing your research and publications. So there are so many best practices which are there in the available in different organizations, different institutions. Okay. And yesterday we talked about how to do a good research, right? So just saying my research is good is not the what we are expecting, right? Good research should be well justified, right? How well or how good it is, and well planned, and as well as uh, well designed, and whatever designs we are doing it, that how which committee is ethically approved, right? And whenever we talk about conducting a sub research, you should not go very low standard, right? And which when you talk about the very low standard, uh, people do think there is something called misconduct. So it should not happen in this fashion. So one should know what are the best practices. Maybe some of the points each case I'll spell out, which is the best practices. Two of them is the data analysis and another is authorship. Okay. In case of data analysis, data should be approximately analyzed because many times we analyze, we interpret something which is not be satisfied or not able to do it, and which is you may be without understanding saying something else. Okay, so that to be avoided, which is made which leads to the misconduct. And there are certain things where data you get generated with the fabrication, and from there also possibility that the falsification of data, which also to be misconduct. Okay, so majority of nowadays fake videos, these that and all you might be seeing in the news and all. So because they are putting something else where it is going to be damage something else, somebody else. That is not what we are talking about. So please avoid any means wrong interpretations, because if you don't know, ask the experts and try to analyze whatever data you got it, and whatever the statements you give, it should be correct ones, depends upon data, and there should not be any misappropriation or maybe falsification or things are something and representation will be something else. So that should not happen. Okay, and the most one of the where the people are not following the ethical things is authorship. Okay, there is no universally agreed definition of authorship, right? It just depends upon, because nowadays somebody does and somebody they can add, right? Although they want to bring out something, but people cannot write 10 people. Okay, one teacher and 10 people are, even the researchers who are working in colleges and all, they'll ask some students to do it, and they'll ask them to not to put their names and put my name first or something like that. So this is the things which is very, very dangerous, right? Maybe the more details, maybe a couple of um, slides later, you come to know what are different types of authorships, and where you are going to fall and how we can avoid the unethical things. Okay, so this is the things which we need to do it, because people do have a lot of interests, conflicts of interest, right? That conflict of interest, it can be uh, because of they've never been satisfied their work, they've never been doing, they love to do. Maybe there is a Narada Maharshi, right? All of you know him. So unless he tells 100 lies in the day, his stomach will what you call out. Okay, so there are some people who, without telling any wrong things, wrong judgments, wrong reviewers, wrong authorship, so people don't be happy. But anyhow, uh, till you caught, you are the king. The day when you caught, you are the thief. But you should not be under that category where you are going to be caught and you are going to be finalized in terms of finance. And whatever the, because something else is there, uh, somebody else is paying some in terms of financial related or in terms of funding stocks or shares or ownerships or payments or travels or anything. Okay, because you are accompanying and you false promises giving to somebody and doing something else, that is not acceptable, right? So what are the various things which are involved in the conflict of interest of the people, right? So first one is peer review. All of you know who can review the, maybe we are not talking about conferences, even we are talking about journals and all. So all of you must know that there is various reviewers who are the experts in that areas, and the experts are chosen as a editors. What is that editors does, right? They will go through it, and whatever good what you are written, they will comment it is good. Whatever wrong things are there, whatever methodology or analysis or whatever results, interpretation of what you've done, they can comment on that. That's why, because any journal what is come out, so-called good journals, then they don't want their name should be bad, right? So the editors are such that the whatever reviews they do it, the who is the editor for particular journal should not be known. Let it be blind review, even though they are knowledgeable people or peer people. When blind review is done, exactly it will come out. Otherwise, there is no biasing. Once you are biasing, means you are having that unethical way to change your decisions, right? So there should not be any relation comes into picture. So it should be independent of relation. It should be independent of the relation of the editors or reviewers. Once the honest opinion of editors come for maybe, I don't know how many of your published papers, and whichever papers you are published, there may be, before publishing there may be because even nowadays the conferences and all, there are more than one reviewers per paper, so three or four are like that. So maybe the one who is biased, one who is know that he may give that, oh, excellent paper. Same paper, other two people may be giving it is rejected, strongly rejected, something like that. So what here we are talking about complex events. If you know somebody, through somebody, you should not share your publication, what you have done, whatever work you have done as in the form of research. So please avoid that. Okay, and you come to know the best papers. But editorial list will be there where which journals, which are who are the people edited, right? But if I am the editor, if some paper comes which you known persons, I'll say sorry, I cannot do it. Okay, so something else can be done. If I am doing it, I need to the facts to be reflected on my review and giving the comments for the each case for coming out good research in that. Okay, and there is something called as a redundant publication. Okay, this is another important conflicts of interest. Okay, so the redundant publications occurs when two or more papers without full cross references, because we do avoid in one case I give some reference, another case other I give it, but the matter, whatever, as we said, the type of hypothesis used, the data what you are interpreting or reporting, and the whatever discussion points based on the results you are doing and the conclusions what you are doing, all are duplicate. Okay, that are the redundant. But it is, say, maybe there are certain cases where the titles may be different and other things, including results, hypotheses, data, conclusions, more or less same. So that easily can be, that should not be. If it is something sufficient work is done, okay, there is always continuation of the work which is submitted, published earlier. There is no issue on that. But within that, whatever small work you done it, same work you are sending into different journals or conferences, that it will give misleading and because of written publications. Because as I said again and again, because of digital era, easy to catch which papers are yours. That's why what we need to do to avoid this conflict of interest, see to it all call cross references what you are referred for that particular work and continuation of that work, which can reduce your so-called redundancy. Next conflict of interest is plagiarism. Now, this is all of you know what is plagiarism, and there are various tools where how much is the plagiarism, right? Nowadays, the best people say zero. Zero is impossible. Maybe up to 5% is the best judges. Maybe 10% up to 10% can be level zero or best paper, and maybe 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60 and above like that. So the plagiarism is higher. That is a hopeless paper. That means you are copied, pasted somewhere and all of that. Nothing is original research. Not done anything from you, right? Even your type of the language what you use and the words what you are using, even reframing and all, still it will show some type of plagiarism. But if your originality is there, you have done some good work, the plagiarism will give miss the less plagiarism, the better the things are. So please avoid copying from other publications, from other journals, from other works, or there are nowadays started. It is not necessary the publications will be done only in English. Now local languages or maybe different countries, different languages are coming, and even there are a lot of even TVs also you can able to see what are the programs done by the other countries. Similar duplicate programs are coming here. Same way, what people are doing nowadays, the one who knows two, three, four foreign languages, they take that papers what is published by the people, and that they will convert into their own language and they will put it. But still, that even though the plagiarism showing less than 10% cannot be considered. It is not ethical. Okay, so you need to take care about your originality, original work, and reduce the conflict so that less plagiarism will be there and good work will be there, right? That is another thing. And in case of plagiarism, here some because maybe there is a possibility that your own work will reflect in because as I said, you have good work, you have done something and presented, and continuation of that you can always add it, right? And in case you want to quote some cross references and all, you quote that properly. When you are including and you are crediting the person whom from where else that work is done by somebody, nothing wrong with that. So that even though it quotes, you are not taking any data from them. So references referring to other works and reflecting in that, nothing wrong. But there are some people who maybe copying from somebody which is unpublished manner maybe, or maybe some others which are not there. But that also, even though plagiarism it won't show, but it's not ethical. Okay, so don't copy it, don't claim authorship, don't try to publish unpublished things which are available in our hand from to somebody from some other works. And also you need to see uh, what best you can do it by citing the other people's work. Why nowadays this is another dangerous things which are coming to the picture, something called as impact factor. So some people will advertise that oh, my impact factor is 105 or 50, 60. Oh, very good, more than 10, more than 2. I don't know. I don't understand really whether that is worth such impact factors. So why they do our means conflict of interest, what they do it. So we should not be in that fashion where it is going to be misleading the people, right? That is the one of them, right? Next one, which you need to see that duties of editors. This is what I just mentioned earlier. So here editors are the, they are the expert of their own fields. As I said, one person cannot be so strong in all the topics. If I am good in one particular area, I know in and out of that. As I said, you need to see while writing the survey paper or review paper and all. These people are capable of writing review papers of their own area. It can be anybody, every editors will be selected by the management of that particular journal is well known, and they must consider and see to it the the, the interest what they have, which is only in mind that they need to select the best papers, which is helping not only readers, authors encouragement. There may be the the board of editorial board which can be helping them, and type of the advertisers and maybe media, something like that. So uh, really we should not publish. Self boosting is not required, okay? And if we know certain people who are hopeless, and there are many hopeless things which are there. The, for example, there are some journals where the so-called editor in chief or editor never been studied, say for example engineering, but the one who studied maybe commerce or something else, who is not having any exposure to this, they will be the chief editors. So such things is one of the way where we can avoid. Maybe we know completely their qualification. Sometimes shamelessly, they will give their qualification as well and experience as well. From there only we can find these are the something which are there, which is wrong editors. But see to it, the editor of that particular journal where we are submitting your paper is good ones, where you will get really good inputs for the improvements of your research work. And next conflict of interest was media relations. Here, COVID time, there are a lot of the so-called medicines are invented, including India also, right? COVID and what is that? The three medicines which are done, because whenever they have some types of meetings, they know, the media knows, as if the media publishes presented in already. So if that preliminary findings, what they are done whenever there's a certain council meetings and certain way, it should be in the form of closed meetings. That should not be disclosed what formula used and how used, how you found that this particular medicines and all. Because you as a researcher or in that organization want to publish the good paper, but already is leaked by media because you are conducted meeting. Okay, so that type of things again, publishing again, we cannot do it any publications on that. So you need to see that it is confidential, or it is if it is confidential, that should not leak out, and nobody should publish whether it is a paper or whether it is not necessarily journal. So in that case also it need to be avoided. So that's why the good research cannot come in the media first, and it come in the good journal, then reflect in the media. Okay, that is what to be taken care. Then the advertising is the another important conflict of interest. Then many people, many scientific journals, maybe including the meetings and all, they want to earn money by using this, right? They'll start advertising. So, and there are many people who want reprints and send to them and all of that. When if they are really printing and distributing the people, if there are many people who are readers, that is okay, but don't fall on love with people who are advertising now and then, and it is you are the only person invited, or you are only to be asked to submit your research work and all. So this is the dangerous for you. So avoid the things which are coming in the form of advertisements, and no scientific journals or no best journals never advertise to publish papers and all. So there in the website, or there only they will give details. Based on details, you can able to see it and come out the best things in that. Next conflict of interest is fraud. This is a dangerous thing which is there available among the researchers. So any manipulation of data is like a fraud. Okay, so avoid the manipulations, because the one who has a habit of doing some wrong, then always they do that is right. That should not. Okay, so avoid manipulations, and whatever the data generation which you are talking about in terms of fabrication or anything, or we never expect uh, somebody who can stole the somebody's data, or somebody the experiment results, some test results, some findings somewhere. Okay, so once they take some there and publish as if their own results, this is again unethical, and it is in the form of fraud. So fraud publications, again, once the say there are certain people which come to my knowledge of this also, because I was the maybe president of one of the, like maybe people do everyone don't know, maybe Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers. We do have two journals, research journal, one research journal, Journal of Education is the other one. Uh, our technical review is the third one, three of them, and one of the other is sent as if it is work, but same exactly same thing which is done one of the person from Bangalore in his thesis. It is something related to the satellite or ISRO project. Okay, then when because that was the hard copy, nobody knows, but this guy is exactly duplicated, because as for editors concerned, they did their job. Yeah, whatever the paper is which is submitted, then they given strong recommendation for publishing, because the publishing is out, maybe only 5% will be selected out of 100, right? Five papers out of 100, right? Only 5% is the selection rate. So in that 5% also this paper came. Then the one who are already done in the PhD, that person means complaint. So then we had a big inquiry and all. And finally we found he is stolen from there and he is submitted. So these are the things which are maybe we think that is not happening. It is really happening, and it is a danger for the your degree and your future as well as. Okay, again I'm repeating again and again. You are doing your research work for not for your promotion and not for your increments, right? So you are doing for your want to learn something, invent something, and come out something best. Is okay going on inside mind?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Something different than yesterday's. So this is
Yes, sir.
everywhere we want to be ethical. Don't don't log in and sleep. That is also unethical. Okay, so you are alert and you are listening each and every point what I was mentioning, right? So is it clear? Conflicts. We'll avoid all conflicts.
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. So what is the best practices, right? What are the various? One of them is the committee on publication ethics, COPE. Okay, the other one is medical education, World Association, and similarly there are so many various committees which are there. They are already given guidelines. What is maybe medical is something, and management maybe, or it is industrial data, it is human related, animal related, pharmacy related. So each case there are very good line, good practices is already available at different reports. Okay, and here, what we are giving is uh, one of them which we study design and ethical approval. Because, as I said, whichever human intervention or animal related, where it is mandatory to get the ethical approval. So, as I said, each institution, organization, everyone, they will be having their own. Ethical committee, right? Sometimes, if you are doing very good work with high level, where you need to go in the government as well as to get the certificate. Okay. So here we are talking about medical related, where the laboratory and clinical research should be driven by protocols or pilot studies should have been written rationally. This is the one of the good practice which is reported by Committee on Public Ethics. That both WAME or COPE or ITPE and all committees. This is the one which, because since it is related to the medicine, then they are talking about especially on the clinical research. Okay, and they do require study design as well as the ethical related work, and the research protocol should seek to answer specific questions. That is what to be expected, rather than just collecting data. Because people, they collect data and they don't know how to interpret it, and then if they are not following that specific questions to answer it, then the things won't work. And protocols must be carefully agreed by all contributors and collaborators, including, if applicable, means who are the participants which are involved in that, right? Many medical people, even till I came to this Datta Mege university, I am not aware of there is something called as protocol papers, right? They here everywhere they have separate protocols where the clinical trials and other things they are publishing, and that too so-called good impact factor. So here the our university does almost this year to 2023 till day for yesterday is around 2,500 publications already done, and all publications. I'm not considering the conference papers and other papers. I'm talking about Web of Science and PubMed and IEEE, like that. So the top Cooper's Journal and all, where high impact factor is there. So this is the only university is the got A double plus with the highest score 3.78 out of 4, and out of that the research is the number 3 among all university. So research is a very important factor. If you love it, you can really don't leave and follow it basic things and continue doing publications. Not only stopping at the publication level, even though this particular ethics or the publication, it won't go beyond IPR or maybe the intellectual property related copyrights, maybe patents and all. So now here we also started mandatory for each department to have one patent. So if I have four departments, I need to get four patents mandatory, and it is not like publish it the parent. It is to be commercialized. How your technology is going to be useful for public societies. So that is what a good researchers will always think and collaborate. So uh, even before the engineering started, even the medical, dental, and all, they do have a collaboration with like IITs, like IIT Kanpur, Kharagpur, Bombay. Then now they had ISC Bangalore, because there are a lot of work is started even IITs in terms of medical education. And now no more only engineering or medical differently, but all are now really multidisciplinary. And NEP, it is coming, even though medical education and law education told for these two cases is different compared to other things, but still whatever branches I have in my engineering college, all five, all everything related to application to medical education and healthcare field. So hence, I am also learning many things from this type of good guidelines, which is already published by the medical education. Okay, so come back here. The you need to see the roles of contributors and collaborators, and the type of the publications what you are doing, what type of authorship you are doing, and what type of advice you are getting. So these are the things which need to take care about the whenever you are publishing good paper. And many people do miss run away from the statistical issues, because there are so many things which need to be statistics to be used. How best you can use that and interpret your data correctly. So whatever study design you are talking about, it should be accurate and correct and precise what you are stating, and those things uh, it cannot be limited to only few participants or more participants, because yeah, clinical trials, it can go samples, because we have almost 30 years data available with us, right? We can able to analyze each and every student, each and every PhD candidate who are doing here. We are mandatory to learn the certain things. Even though few years back I argued why ethical committee required for engineering projects or for management related or science and arts related, because we are not dealing directly with the human being or animals or something else. But still, now, since it is a multidisciplinary, lot of work is happening. The technology is giving easy way of doctors to interpret data, what the way how they used to do earlier. And everywhere, technology is the one which is playing a big role. So, before developing that technology, you need to understand how the mind works and how the whatever data what we are interpreting there, right? So one must know good statistics before proceeding to or interpreting the data which is there itself. And the other good practice or initiative by this committee is the documentation and ethical approval baby. So now, even though earlier there used to be different institutions have different ethic committee, but as a whole, university also might be having, or institution, organization, everything. So based on that, uh, it is not harming to anybody. Okay, this is not uh, directly used or trialed and clinical exposure can be done on that based on the previous one. So these things also is very much available. Then use of human tissues in research should conform to the highest ethical standard, because nowadays tissue engineering is one of the biggest game changer, and whatever new field council of bioethics, bioethics is the one where everything is guidelines and good practices are given. So one should follow that. And fully informed consent should always be short. So if there's no consent, you are doing something on trails on the patient, and you are not taking any consent, and it is a danger. But it is already given danger. You take the consent with them, right? It will be black and white. It is not oral, and it may not always be possible. However, the such circumstances and approximately constituted research ethics committee should decide if this is ethically acceptable. Because people say that, oh, the patient is agreed and I am doctor, I will do it something. No, but even that is to be done through some committee, and ethically that will be taken care. When patients are unable to give full information of informed consent, then the research should follow the international guidelines. With that guidelines also standards available, right? And one of the council is the International Organization of Medical Sciences, is the council where whichever local level or state level or maybe country level guidelines is not sufficient. Whenever you talk about some general issues, you need to go and follow the guidelines of international level or international organizations. So, as pharmacy or other things which you are talking about, animal experiment, because everything will be tested, guided, Covivax, everything will be tested on animals first, right? Within 6 months, everything they go bought during COVID time. Okay, so here we are talking about the whatever experiments is a human being or animals. So follow the local level or national level, or any specific ethical regularity is having their own principles or license agreements or whatever the standards what they have it. So that's what you need to take care of that, right? So in case you are not able to do it, then things will be uh, unnecessary. That means you are not ethical way of doing things, because anything you do it, you need to follow the good practices. Okay, and formal supervision, that is the another usual responsibility of the principal investigator, whatever work you are doing. So because oh, I am the principal investigator and others are something else. When a research project you do it, and where you are supposed to maintain the quality of control and whatever reviews you do it, or whatever retention of records what required for long term, what type of outputs you are getting. So people do keep up to 15 years of these records instead of scrapping. Even though at the college level, the journals and other things, they'll say that after 6 months of results out, you can throw it. Same way here, whatever trials you do it, whatever experiments you want to do, what are the specific records are available. So that is required at least 15 years as per the guidelines, right? What simple thing is here, whenever you are talking about study designs or ethical approvals, please follow local, national, international, and any regulatory authorities for getting the ethical certificate if you are involved animal related or human related or any intervention related. The projects, it can be funding project, it can be research work. Okay, that is the bottom of this particular design. Then the other one most important is data, data, data. data analysis also they have a guidelines by all the best practice already they are using. All sources and methods used, obtained, analyzed data, including electronic pre-processing, should be fully disclosed. So detailed experimentations should be provided for any exclusions. Because if say anything you do it, right, how you are doing and all, if you are not disclosing, that means something wrong with that, right? So you know what tool you are using and how you are pre-processing and how you are generating the results and how you done your experiment and how you are explained in your research work or paper. That things should come out in crystal clear. So second under data is methods of analysis. Because there are so many methods which are available, data analysis methods. People talk about nowadays tools are available, but how to use the tool, once you use the tool, some results you get, how to analyze it. You need to know how details, how the class references you are giving, right? Yeah, whatever things which are not in common use, right? It is certain things which are there where you should know. If you are not known details and cross referred, then again that interpretation will going to be wrong, and your explanation is going to be wrong. Then the post hoc analysis of subgroups is acceptable as long as it is disclosed. If you are having certain things which we are not able to disclose, again, what you do, how you analyze, all these things is to be disclosed. If you are not disclosed, that means again an unethical thing. So there are so many things which, whatever not followed the procedure, process, guidelines, institutes, standards, then it will come under the unethical way of publications. Okay. The discussion of the paper, whatever in the middle of the paper, should mention any issues of the bias which have been considered and explain how they have been deal with the design and interpretation of the study. Because many people go like yesterday we talked about the abstract, then introduction, then uh, body of the paper, then conclusions, something like that, results and conclusions and references. So whenever we are talking about the body of the paper, what you are writing, so in case anything issues related to any bias in or any, say as we said already, you are giving the class references, but if something is there, you need to uh, tell and design how the designs are done and how the interpretation you've done it. Okay, this is related to data analysis. This is another best practice where you need to follow. But again, maybe a couple of slides later, I'll be giving the types of authors. But authorship is one of the standard which is available at various committees representation. But here we talk about the primary or secondary or something like that. So here the one who is doing, the one who is contributed intellectually, and the one who is conceptually designed, analyzed, and he know better way of writing the good paper, right? If there is no the person who is not initially participated, contributed, or maybe not aware, then that should not be given as any credit for that particular authorship. So it is no, it is again in the form of unethical, right? So there are some people who demands, okay, you do work and I take the name. Okay, so that is okay for working and running of the department or college or something like that. But here we are talking about the data what we have, how you are going to be this the one who know in and out, they can able to put it better, and that is what is the good practice is about. So avoid if you are not known something and trying to explain something, okay? And also to avoid disputes or attributions of academic credits, right? It may be helpful to decide as planned by research projects, okay? And the credited as the authors or contributors, or as we told each and every permit, there is a cross reference. And acknowledgement is very important because why we give acknowledgement, even though the work is XYZ and people want to know much more details on that, they can go to that contributor, that paper writer, that author. Okay, so it is our duty if something referred by us and where we started our work and acknowledging to them. So if you're not acknowledging, even this also there is a lot of court cases in that. So you are taken my data, you are taken my figure, you are done this, you are not quoted by reference and all. There is certain people who can go file case against you. So please see to it in case you are using or referring something, it is it is a mandatory to do that, right? And all others must take public responsibility, right? Right. That is the one which you need to, and whatever people you are published. So as we said. Nowadays, a lot of multi-disciplinary is coming into nature. The research work also to be different. It is not only specific field. But when we disclose individual contributor, because not necessarily that since it is a multidisciplinary and only one author cannot be possible. As I said, or discussed also yesterday also, it is maybe you may be called as a uh, jack of all, master of none. So that should not happen. Okay. So in case there are two, three people involved, which contribution, which work is done by individual authorship, that also can easily brought it so that public knows. If we suppose I want to work in this particular area, so then I can able to uh, meet or catch only this particular person. And careful reading of targets journal. Advice to the authors is advice. So advice to authors already that each journal is available on certain things, and whatever advice they are giving you, and you need to follow that, right? So what we come to know from here, and you see the whatever designs you do or whatever concept you develop, whatever results you are publishing, good, it is individual, no issue on that. Whenever there is a contributor, somebody, and taking somewhere, one is expected to acknowledge. Whenever there is a wherever there is a multidisciplinary, it is always better to disclose which area, who worked, who helped to come out of these results. And more or less, whichever journal we are talking about, there see to it what is in case any advice is given. So this is something on authorship. Similarly, the conflict of interest, what we talked about in the previous slides. So here also we are talking about which are the relevant and what are the editors says to researchers, authors, and reviewers. So see to it you are not avoiding following the basic instructions. So that means, or maybe guidelines which are given by COPE and WAME or other organizations, or whichever area you are working, okay, which are available by government organizations. Okay. So here we talk about the editors also. The two things when we are talking about as a author and other thing as a editors. Editors should also disclose relevant conflicts of interest to their readers because if you have any doubt anything, uh, then it is because once they know that so and so person is money oriented or multi split personality or something like that, then things will go. Even it is a bad name for the so-called the management or the journal organizers, and many times it may happen with the same editor, the possibility of withdrawing of the papers, and within the papers some sections or subsections also is a possibility of that, because they are copying pasting from somewhere to somewhere, so those things can be avoided. So with respect to best practices, avoid the conflict of interest in terms of the work by the authors and in terms of by editors, where maybe you may be also editor sometimes, but become editor where you are expert in that. So if you are not expert in that direction, you please don't accept and don't go beyond code of conduct and code of having the conflicts of interest. So that is to be avoided, right? Next is the peer review that already we mentioned earlier definition. So peer reviewers are the external experts chosen by the editors. So I'm the editor. I know some friends. I'll put it, even though they are not in that area. That is not correct. Okay. So you need to avoid that and see to it what best, how whatever the what is the aim. So to bring out the best in that particular journal, right? Improving the whatever study you are talking about. Okay, so if you are a author, so you are giving to miss your friends and others are, as we said before submitting to the paper, please check with your competent people who can able to see what is your contributions about and how it can be published, right? And similarly, while presentation also, how you can well you will present that this is the way how I come out. Okay, so here we are talking about see that experts, through experts, through the suggestions, uh, we can learn something, right? So that is what to be done. And redundant publications is the other one which is very much uh, means very much in practice, and people are given rejected or like that. Again, here the report what we are talking about, the committee on publication ethics committee, the report also there in 1999 or something like that. Okay, so see to it, the published studies do not need to repeat it unless further confirmation is required. So already published, why you want to repeat, right? Unless that is there. And even the proceedings and abstracts, as we talked about, when it is already come in the publication or already come in the media, so why you want to do that? And as we said, that duplication or redundancy, where maybe not necessary only the body of text or conclusions or other things coming into picture. So see that you are not doing same thing or do different papers. Okay, but once you suppose once one particular paper is rejected on a conference or maybe journal, then you want to modify a little bit and submit to some other journal which are relevant to your area, so you can always. So again, the guidelines is avoid knowingly willingly the redundant the portion of your papers whatever you published earlier. Okay, and unless somebody says that you can republish, so that, and that too republication in another language. Okay, so there since they are requesting you, then you can able to do it. So one language to another language, but we are not within the language, we are not going to do it, right? Avoid that, and whatever the original source and original when you timelines when you wrote and when you submitted, those things to be informed and mentioned. Even you are writing to the second one, right? So at the time of submissions, uh, authors should disclose, because nowadays copyright form, this form, that form, they are asking certain things other along with the papers. Okay, so there will be some disclosures, depends upon the which journal you are submitting. Okay, so even you want to publish with different languages also, there also they will ask disclosure that yes, this is done so and so year, so and so time. It is already there in the press or similar paper where I can able to present. If they are accepting, no issue. But we are not calling as duplication or redundant. But still different languages where they can able to learn something. Okay. So these are the certain best practice, but there are some more what we talked about earlier. Comes like plagiarism is the another one. As we said, so if you have a duplication or redundancy or something, then plagiarism will be high. When it is a plagiarism high, once they are rejected, and then again, it is not like that. The changing of words will change that. But if your work is there that much good, and you are writing the better way, and in case suppose I am taking from somebody's material, their plagiarism coming 20%, taking the permission from there also will be acceptable. Not necessarily your plagiarism always 5% or 10%, even though 20%, then the work, the whatever material you are used from some authors, so you can take permission, then you can able to publish that. So that is also given in the guidelines. And maybe not now or some other time, you will be the editors. So see to that what duties are there. This is also part of guidelines, right? Report of 1999. Okay, long back it is done for the especially publication ethics. The editor's decision to accept or reject a paper for the publication is based only on the paper's importance, originality, and clarity, and the study relevance to the remit of journals. Because by journal is something, if there is no originality, there is no clarity, so why should the editors will accept? Only if it is accepted with maybe with correction, with minor, major or minor corrections, all possible. But there is a strong rejection if there is no originality, no clarity, and no relevance to that particular journals. So don't care who they are. Okay. So you can always, in the form of an editor, you can reject. Maybe there is a animosity of the editors where they have sometimes it so happens that I know some people are submitted, but somehow I know conflict of interest will come, and where even though original paper is there, still they reject. That is also to do happen in certain journals, but that is not a part of good guidelines and standard settings which are done. So then the studies that challenges uh, prevision work, previous work published in the journals should be given as especially sympathetic hearing, because if you are not referring on if you are doing the directly without referring that cannot, but you can always check what work they have done, because it may be generally most of the time one paper or other paper people do give their own references where what is the work published in that area. So that is to be checked at the time of as a editor. There should not be any negative results which is not to be included, because they always, there are certain authors who always criticize and comment on other results of other papers, and or any type of negative results which is come, that cannot be considered in this, right? then all original studies should be peer reviewed before publication, because there are some journals without review, whatever rubbish you submit, that is published. That is, should be avoided. So when there is a original studies which are coming, which is reviewed properly and given comments of what is lacking, what is good, what is bad, and without any bias and without any conflict, with ethical way, that can be taken care. And also, they must treat all submitted papers as a confidential, because nowhere the editor should disclose that, okay, I'm the editor of so and so. You may be editor, but don't disclose. And that again gives the conflict of interest, and hence that is not a good practice or good the guidelines which are given by the people. When published paper is subsequently found to contain major flaws, editors must accept responsibility for correcting the record prominently and promptly. Because many times so ignorant, and they are not able to give the corrections in time. And if we are not able to give the corrections in time, then again conflict of interest will come. But once it is published, then we cannot blame the author. So it should be blamed the editor why it is selected. And there is a possibility that somebody go through it, and there again something not correct or not there. So that responsibility may be given, and maybe if as and when the editor come to know, should be accepted that yes, it is my mistake. Yes, I ignored it. Now I wanted so and so things to be given to me, so that that can be acceptable or submitted, means accepted in journal and printed for the next publication. Something like that. So the duties, as we talked about, is again very because every point what we are talking is having the ethical issue connected to that. But it is the when you are talking publication, we are not talking about only the PhD scholar or student, but here we are talking about the start to end. So start is you who are submitting, end is the publication. So continuation of the wherever whatever data you submit, who are the reviewers, who are the journals or publication, till there all this good guidelines to be followed. So media relation is the another one, as we talked about here. Many times before it is appearing in the journals, so they in the media the leakage will be there. Then that same what is come in the papers cannot be asked to send it, and one should always aware that the media reports cannot be referred and cannot be given as a reference and submitted for the journal. Okay, so see to it the whatever the the reports which are given by medias, maybe print media or the TVs or all something, uh, you are going beyond certain things where you can able to publish. But you may have once you are published and all, you can do have coverage in the media related, because if you are not publishing, that is a different story. You can always whatever as and when certain things are done, you can always go for the media. If it is not, and you are going, since we are talking about research and publication, so we do expect that the your works is publication, then we are going going to media and describing what how good your work is and how much useful for the society. Similarly, there may be so many publications which are coming in simultaneously in the mass media, and also as a peer-reviewed journals is advised. So, so it is parallelly something happening, and media don't care. But since we have research journals we are talking about, so that always encouraged. So here we are talking about the evidence and data. Have nowadays you might be seen the news will come first, and the media is the one who is behind on somebody, and then trails will start. So here we are not talking about that. We are talking about first trails done, experiments done, results are there, we are satisfied, and it is reviewed by the various reviewers, and then we are publishing that. And based on that, we can go for the next level to the media to publish, yes, I am done this great job in that fashion, right? So that's what we are talking about here. So wherever it is not possible, the author should help journalists to produce accurate reports, because many times you may give press report or some invention, something like that. So they themselves will manipulate something and do something, and they want nowadays the title to be attractive. So nowadays everything comes in the form of breaking news, right? Entirely manipulated and modified, and different version of what reality is and what is done in the paper as well, right? So in that case, so what type of additional data they required, they should be in position to take. And in case maybe there are some people, whatever wrong way of misinterpretation or wrong way of publications in the media, so are taken task even the court level, right? Because they are misleading things, right? That should not happen. In case some of you are want to go through media, right? So all efforts should be made to ensure that participant who have helped with the research should be informed of the results of the authors before the mass media, especially if there are clinical implications. Because now every TV channel, every paper wants some masala, right? So they want to publicize and get so-called their boosting of their channels very high and high like that. So that won't happen, but that will be dangerous if you are giving certain clinical information to media without trials, without confirmations, and without publications. So the author should advise the organizers if journals are to be attended scientific meetings. There are so many scientific meetings where it comes, and there will be media also attending it. So without understanding what is the exactly discussed, what is coming out, they can put it any rubbish things in that. So those things to be, I don't know which are how many media people or paper people or other people are going to confirm with the authors, but if something goes wrong, then it will be breaking news. Need to be avoided. In many of the authors advised any media policies operated by the journal in which their work is to be published, right? So if you are if it is not helpful, no author should reach to um, media publication, right? That is also journalism is something different, but we are not talking about that journalism. You are talking about your inventions through journals, through publications, through media. So that can be really looked into. Okay. Then the another best practices which we need to look into is the advertisement, right? So here advertising that nowadays a lot of things, as we mentioned earlier also, that people want easy money and speed. Within day they want to become crorepati's by doing certain wrong type of advertisement, right? Bitcoin, maybe you might be something else it has happened in between. So once it's caught, then it is dangerous for them. So here we are talking about, especially on publications related, editorial decision must not be influenced by advertising revenue or reprinting potentials. So editorial and advertising administration must clearly separated. So here, oh, you do this and you be paid, or you pay this, will publish so and so. So either way, whatever type of stupid advertisements comes, you should not care and you should not be influenced where you need to publish your the work, research work. And advertisements, many times it will mislead, right? Must be refused wherever it is there. And editor must be willing to publish criticisms according to some criteria used material in the rest of journals. Okay, and also reprint should be published as they appear in the journal unless a correction is to be added, right? In case something somewhere you publish there in the media, and always they can add so and so is to be read as a so and so. So this type of things can be done, but it is even there is a separate public committee for advertisement, which to be again they have good guidelines where which to be seen or which to be not to be seen, which to be ethical, which to be not ethical, also to be taken care, right? So these are the certain. We are not going each and every field and each and every committee, each and every best practice, each and every as a whole. More or less, each and every field going to see this type of best practices or guidelines which are defined. Next important point is the publication misconduct is the one which need to be dealt with. Okay, so how you deal with misconduct? Because this is very important for the editors and journals and other people, right? Because even though we are human being, each one has unique style and unique way of dealing and cheating. Okay, maybe there are many people who are very sweet and talks very nicely, and you will be entrapped in that. So here, with respect to publication, the general principle confirming misconduct is intention to cause others to regard as true that which is not true. So people give statements, people give wrong interpretations. Really, that is not happening, but they say that it is yes. So that things is which is in the. It is also author's duty to take care that they are not publishing the incorrect data and which is not true. No wrong statements in their papers. Okay, which is not part of their investigation. So that also leads to the form of misconduct. The examination of misconduct must therefore focus not only on the practical act or omissions, but also on the intention of the researcher, author, editor, reviewer, and publisher. All of them are part of it in the same boat. So need to be the misconduct in all everyone. So how for researchers need to see that what you are submitting, and the editor should look into yes, there is no conflict of interest. Right? Maybe reviewers we who are supporting and submitting means the giving to the editors how it is going to be and how finally the publication is to be done. So it is start to end, as we discussed earlier, need to be part of taking care about that any level, the misconduct to be uh, avoided. Means it is not a good ethical thing. Deception may be the by intention, maybe by recklessness, disagreed of possible consequences, or by negligence. So this is the dangerous people, some of them, because chalta hai, what is there? Who is going to see? How it is going to give me the punishment? Right? It is what we need to do. We need to follow the good practice, our best practices, right? For best practices, we need to have good honesty. Honesty is the best policy, right? And also giving the full disclosures, right? This can be, this particular misconduct can be taken care. So, nahi chalta hai. Maybe there are many people who are in the form of chalta hai. Kuch nahi hota hai. So that should be avoided and can be taken care by using the best practices, one of them. Then the codes of practice may raise awareness, but can never be exact. So the things which will be means, as we say, practice makes everyone perfect. So you need to know what good practice always everybody will follow, right? So you need to aware that how well you are going to do it, how best things will common, and it should not be too much exhaustive. So this is something on dealing with the misconduct. Then, okay, something happened. Then in that, how one can think about investigating the misconduct, right? The editor should not simply reject papers that rise to questions of the misconduct. So they are ethically obliged to pursue the cause. However, knowing how to investigate and respond to the possible cases of misconduct is difficult, right? But maybe the regular appender or regular things, because if the same papers comes in the same journal, same editor and all, easy to find. So and so person is always like this, but difficult for sometimes, right? So then in that case, the need to investigate and see to it possible ways of whatever to avoid that type of misconducts. So as for this Publication Ethics Committee 1999 report, they clearly uh, they are clearly given how uh, willingly the advice to be given, but for legal reasons can only advise on anonymous cases. Okay, so whether you want to go legal or before, because if you know something, the good author, good editor, good reviewer can always reject it at the beginning only if they are honest. Okay, so there is no question of going to legal level. So what they are doing and how it is going to be. So it is for the editor to decide what action to take. Okay, because the name and fame of that particular journal, it is going to be spoiled, right? So in that case, the things will be uh, really going to be problem. So in that case, see to it the it is crossed to reviewers, it is come to the almost like a publication. So that time we can take a decision to avoid misconduct of the researcher. So in that misconduct again, we have serious misconduct and low serious misconduct, right? So how I can avoid, how the sanctions can be done. This is the one which to be known to all of you. So what are the serious misconduct we are talking about? So if your editor knows something, allegations which are come, which are suspicious by the authors what is submitted, and they should recognize and they should tell this is so and so is the problem, and it will leads to legality. And if you are not able to know what is the, because you, as you said, anybody cannot become a reviewer, right? So you may be studying some papers and you will be not aware of that. So the good editor always can see the seriousness of that particular things, whether it is something experiments, whether it is the investigation, whether it's something like that. So all these serious cases where it is going to legal level, because legal, once you start case and it will continue. Only better is to withdraw and keep quiet. Okay, so don't reach to that level. Okay, when the editors are making you, oh, serious allegation against you. Hope that none of you are there in that category, but you should aware of as this also happens. Okay, the editor must decide when to alert the employers of the accused authors, right? So because authors are not maybe sometimes not informing to your organizations, right? So there is always a protocol, or always is some set of procedures. Maybe for your information, uh, here we give unlimited what you call the money wherever required for the publications and for travel, for conference and all of that. So there is no one paper, two paper, three paper like that. So if I am cheating myself while submitting some paper, right? So it may be habit of mine, and wherever I go, and wherever whichever conference or whichever journals I submit, that people should be in position, because I am not listening to you, right? And even though you are informed that I am having serious allegations on my paper, but sometimes it is better to bring to the notice of the organization, because affiliation is there with the certain organization, whether it is the institution, whether it is uh, uh, the laboratory or clinical trial or anything. So should go so that because as the editor, they cannot take any action on author. Only employers can take action. If the author is so smart to fool the employers, that is a different story. Okay? Again, there are many things comes. But here we are talking about good practices. We are talking about good publication. Here we are talking about there should not be any misconduct. Out of misconduct, we are talking about very serious misconduct. Right? So hope that none of you are in that category going to be. Some evidence is required, because without evidence we are not going to give and whatever the investigation you've done, and with proofs and all, you need to give to the that particular employers. Then only they will believe on you that so and so serious questions, serious mistakes which is done by the authors. Okay. If editors are presented with the convincing evidence, okay, whatever the support of from the reviewers, so and so is the serious misconduct by so and so people, then the immediate that to be passed to the employers, right? Notifying that, especially this is the person what they have done. Okay, unless that information comes to employer, okay, so that the whatever the misconduct cannot stop there, bugs won't stop there, right? So these are the certain things where to be followed based on the editors and reviewers. Editors role to avoid, to reduce, to stop whatever the misconducts are going to be. And there is something we call it as a less misconduct, right? Before the less misconduct, some of the points in under this, if accusations of serious misconduct are not accompanied by convincing evidence, then editor should be confidentially seek expert advice, because that is what because I am not confident what I want to give them. If there is no the supporting document or evidence from the my reviewers, then it is very difficult for me to give it. And the experts raises any questions about the research, then editor should not notify the directly to the, because once you are taken the advice from the experts, yes, this is correct what you are saying, then they can notify to the employer, because there is again conflict of interest comes between the editor and employers, and then the author and researchers. So that also to be avoided. If suppose the experts are not found any evidence of misconduct, then the editorial process should be processed in the way how they are publishing for the other papers. Okay, so if there is, say, one is we are talking about the serious misconduct, and which is supporting evidence document. One is evidence document is available, very good, tightly to inform to the employers. Second one, if there is no evidence report, hence we are going for the experts. When expert is agrees, yes, what is the editor is saying, then again it can be taken into the task to the employers. And if there is no evidence is come, then keeping quiet and publishing is that is okay. There is no tug of war between them. And if convincing evidence of serious misconduct and no employer is referred, then authors are registered doctors, because many times it council there is a organization where they have to register now. Then that can be referred to the medical council, whichever country, whichever wherever it is, or respect to council, because the employers are not taking any action even though it is misconduct, so that the council will take care that derecognition of this membership as a in case of doctor if it is a CA related, okay, chartered accountant, and other people uh, need to check, because if it is a university, for example, institute you are working, and the university can give the letter that you are no more the employee of this, means the university cannot work, something like that. Okay, so depends upon which area, which field you are working, and again, employers to the organization to the council. Council is the ultimate. If it is not solving with that level also, within the country level, or there may be international forums which are going to be there. So that means you are not stopping at the employer level or council level, or you are going international level, where there will be pressure. Maybe sometimes based on this, there is a possibility that the journals also may stop. So because of somebody's some mischief is leading to the dangerous for that particular journal, and by for that particular editor, right? Therefore, the author should be also given why we are calling as a serious misconduct, right? If we are not able to give them some, like uh, nowadays people do talk about natural justice. What natural justice? You already know that what you are done, wrong data which is submitted, and don't ever think that it is no action will be taken. So there is lose of your even your membership as well, right? So those things to be done, right? In case of less serious misconduct, what editors can do is they can always uh, involve the employers, whatever the misconduct is in terms of redundant, in terms of maybe authorship or maybe conflict of interest, anything is there, then you can bring into, and maybe that can be taken care with separate independent expert and able to explain them why this is be useful and where we can able to correct the data which is required. And the editor should be remember that accusations of even minor misconduct may have serious implications for the authors, and also they necessarily to ask employers to investigate, because one, if you, who bothers about the editors or journals to come and will investigate it, only request to the employers. If they find okay, then continue to be published. If they say that it is not done, then nobody can stop. Only thing is reject and thank you. There is no further discussion on that. Authors should be given the opportunity to respond to any charge of minor misconduct. Okay, so that can be taken care of. If it is convinced wrongdoing, editors must adopt some of the sanctions outlined, different things which are there in the next section. So here we are talking about what is the uh, misconduct, okay, and we talked about how to investigate based on your guidelines, and how you differentiate serious misconduct, how it can be taken care at different levels, and how a less serious misconduct is there, how it is going to affect not only your work, your degree, but also your employment in case you are working, right? All this can be avoided. So what are the sanctions can be done by the employers? Okay. So maybe one can ask a letter of explanation, right? Where there is a appears to be genuine misunderstanding of the principles, because the people may think that okay, I felt like this, that's why I wrote that. No, you give the explanation on letter. Okay, a letter of reprimed and warning as a future conduct, because like the way how you are misbehaving. So one letter can be given so that it will stop for future things to be avoided, and a formal letter to relevant to the institution or funding body. So you got the funding and you are cheating, and the letter should be either that body may give based on your misconduct, or the organization head of the institution. So if there is a too much of redundant publications or copy or plagiarism, then that publications where you need to be avoided, and that also something to be done. Then the editorial, as we discussed earlier, must be giving the full details of which misconducts after proper investigations, and possibility of refusals to accept future submissions by that individual or that particular individual, because they can debar not only author, that institution or organization also, because your people are doing cheating like this. So it can be a small period, or it can be years, or it can be forever. So that can be taken care. And also possibility that formal withdrawal of the paper, and whatever literature you are talking about, scientific literature, how systematically you done, and informing other editors also with indexing that authorities, because once we it is not necessary one editor or pool of editors, They also know that this is what the problem, because when the same thing goes to them, they also should know how this so-called misconduct conducted. And if it is something on medical related, it can be sent to the General Medical Council, and which is already available in the guidelines of medical association and all. Okay, so in case there is a association of British pharmaceutical industries, there are so many things which are come for the this type of misconduct. So here they are talking about, there are various reports which are guidelines which are available. I don't know it is required. I don't know, in case some of you are pharmaceutical, I can spell out which reports to be taken care. One of them is the clinical trials and compensation guidelines. So it is published in January 91, and guidelines for phase 4 clinical trials, guidelines on the conduct of investigation site authors, and relationship between the medical profession and the pharmaceutical, and good clinical trials practice. It is 1995, and patient information and concepts of clinical trials, and guidelines on structure of formal agreements to conduct sponsored. So there are 5 to 6 such guidelines notes already available. If in case something goes wrong, how we are going to be helping people, and how it is to be sanctioned, and how uh, we are going to control that. But even there are certain, if it is medical related, if anybody of you are there, there's a consent is the one of the report where the good, very practical guidelines are given. And confidentiality is the another report. And transportation of organs from live donors is the another report. International Committee of Medical Journal editors, that is ICMJE, is the another report. Medical Research Council policy and procedures in inquiring into allegations of the scientific misconduct, Medical Research Council, Medical Research Council ethical conduct, Medical Council responsibility in use of animals, and Medical Council, another one, personal medical information for the research principles and guidelines in practice, and Medical Research Council principles in assessment and conduct, and human tissue or ethical and legal issues, and Royal College of Physicians research involvement. These are the certain general practice guidelines which to be known, whatever we are talking about, to avoid uh, uh, misconduct which is going to which is happening, and to be avoided for the all the fields of uh, research. Then the World Association of Medical Editors, it is the another important one where they gave a lot of uh, the guidelines and practices which they gave. So to give you here, I mentioned about this one, and whatever is this goal of agreement, they want to improve the editorial standards. Okay, and also they want to promote professionalism in medical education. Not only miss this is specifically for ICM, JE, and all. Then to encourage the research on the principles, and also the practice of medical editing. So these are the things which are going to go for the many people. So on process of publications, substantial contributions to conception, and design, right? And we are talking about acquisition of data and as well as analysis and implementation for every case, drafting of article and revising it critically, and especially telling about important intellectual content, and final approval of the versions to be published. So these are the certain things which can be used for this particular case. So, what is the other violation? But what we are talking about, right? Violation of publication ethics, right? So this is what I was talking about. The types of authors. That is very very important. So you should not fall. You should be following one of them, okay? And and you should know the what is the meaning of the type of authors, how they are publishing the papers on different journals, right? One of them is ghost author. So you know what is the meaning of ghost, right? So in terms of publications, you want to define simply is a person who has made substantial contribution in the uh, research work, okay, and manuscript, but is not listed in any author, okay. So he is a, that's why you see, because he is the one who is contributing. Suppose, for example, you are done a lot of work and contribution you done, and people are not taking it to that means your work is not, or your authorship is not mentioned anywhere in the publication. So that's why you are in the form of ghost author, right? So you should not be any ghost author if you are doing your research work, right? Then the another one is the guest or gift or honorary author. So even though we cannot mention that anywhere in the paper publication that I am the guest author and all, but guest editor might be there, not guest author will be there. So here we are talking about their contribution are significant, okay, and it is not, it is just opposite to ghost author, but uh, instead of main author, right, he will be written as a secondary or third author, something like that. So, what is the complementary of ghost author and guest author? So, ghost means you have 100% contribution, but your name is nowhere in the your paper or whatever publications is done. So, guest author means here also contribution is sufficient, but instead of coming as a main author, so it is like a student and guide. Guide is the one who directs, and student is the one who is struggling, so called, and doing some work, right? And there are certain people, guides, who always asks or demands the students write my name as a first author, because I may be guider, but I never done that work. My students are doing. So student will be given as a first author. If I am asking as a guide, my name is first and his names are second and third like that. So that's why we are talking about the guest author. So you as a researcher, your contribution is significant. You cannot be a guest author. You should be a main author. Okay. So guest author, like your guide and other people whom we are writing, those who are having some contribution, that is what we are talking about here, the guest authors, right? Then next one which we talk about, inclusion or exclusion of others, right? Here, one can see that it is the way how you are writing the authors first, second, third, fourth author. It is from the order of authorship. Okay. So the especially how you differentiate between the inclusion or exclusion of author, that is based on the number of authors. So additional author for submission or even after publication is quite, many times it will happen, right? Because there's some contribution is there, and it can be co-author, right? So if we are asking the already your contribution is there and you are included, that's why we are only inclusive. Exclusion author means maybe somebody realizes that okay, so and so person is additional work they had done in this research work, and hence I should add his name. So before final publication, okay, when you are submitting, we'll request for okay additional author to be added. That we are going to include because that is what the code of conduct says or ethics says. Yes, if the person contribution is there, why not you are including his name? So you are going to include it that. So that is what we are talking about, exclusion of author after submitting and after manuscript is approved and just before means finalization by the editors for publication. So that is what we need to understand. Next one is group authorship. So it is maybe your college and other colleges you may be knowing very well, right? If you are working in an organization, maybe in the college level we always give the some students some project work. Okay, so they are in the group, but sometimes it 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 so happened that out of four or five people who are making a group to do the project, and maybe some of them are not doing it, some of them may be doing it. Contributions may be significant. Some of them may be zero contribution, maybe some of them less contribution. But once it is given a assigned project, irrespective of whether their work is very good or bad, you need to include as a author, right? Maybe as we talked about the uh, main author or main contribution is should come first name, second maybe depends upon how much percentage of contribution is coming as a group, because there may be many projects, not necessarily that you are doing only one research work, there may be many projects, there may be many people involved, right? So in that case, based on the contributions, that co-author name should come. Okay, so that means who are involved, irrespective of their work or not work, that should be included. That is what we are talking about, group authorship. Then next authorship, we call it as a attribution of credit. So we have so many guidelines, right? There is a big fight. Who will be the first author? Who will be the second author? Okay. Then that finally, if conflict of interest is not there, then sometimes as a so-called thumb rule, the senior person of that thing will come as a first author. Remaining people may come on next authors and all, right? And majority of groundwork, right? That will be considered as a first author, right? So maybe you are collecting the data, you are analysis and all the time it will take and for to you to analyze this particular data and coming out of the best of worst. Okay, so it may be so-called the first author can be junior most person who is in the form of researcher like you, and maybe the guide is the only supervisor is doing. He can be a in that particular study maybe last author, right? So here the difference between group author and attribution author. There, group author we are talking about who is involved there. But as I said, when always people want the first author, so you thought in contribution that won't work into. That is called we are calling as guest author, right? And attribution author means The one who are really working on ground level, like you as a researcher, is should be the first author, and your supervisor and other people will who are contributed something should come as a second author. That is what we are calling as a attribution author. So there is no way of people will say that what is the order of authorship, right? So the simple as per SOP, I don't know how many colleges has. There is a spinger.com karke, that is the one where they are given how the authors can be distributed, how attribution of authors, where who will come first, who is the ground reality working, and who is the supervising, and who is in between, something like that. Those things can be taken into picture, and accordingly, the simple way to remember is you as a researcher, you are working on ground level, hence you will be considered as a first author. Means because your guide is senior, okay, and his name comes as a second author, okay. Whomever you are taking the supervision or guidance, they will be added in all the papers as a second author. That is called attribution of grade. So many, anyhow, is there any, again, you are demanding something which we are not going, then that is going to be question mark, where conflict of interest, misconduct, and violation of publication, and maybe the uh, what do you call unethical, all these things will come into picture. We are telling with ethically who is first, who is second. Then similarly, assigning authorship is the another one where one can able to think of, right? So here, the importance of the names appears on the top of research, and review papers uh, already been known to us, right? Already we are able to find, right? And authorships allows the researchers to assign the appropriate credit and acknowledgement. Okay, that is assignship author, because you might be seeing certain cases where they are giving acknowledgement. So due to whom I can able to do that, because they are not part of author, but you are acknowledging them, and it is reflecting in your publication. So that we are calling as a assigning of authorship, because you are giving the minimum credit to the people who are not a contributor, but who are helping your work of research, right? So here, the one of the important one where we are talking about good practices, where the ICMJE medical journal, where they are talking about uh, made substantial contribution to design and conceptual of the study, data collection, analysis, and interpretation. So he will be given as a main author, like where which cases we can give as a first author. That is what their guidelines is, right? Because they should be in position in case there is any meetings and any conference, anything to happen. The so-called the main author is the one whom they call, and they'll ask to talk for the media as well, right? So, drafting or revising and intellectual content and output, and approved the final version of the manuscript for the publication. So, agreed to be accountable for the research work, that is especially ensuring that queries related to accuracy or integrity of the research, and this is what the certain guidelines for whatever the authors we do. But for time being, you are going to use attribution of credit or attribution of author credit, where you are going to, you as a researcher, with your contribution, you are going to put you as a main author and others as a second author. Okay. Is it clear about types of authors? Ghost. I may ask quiz questions, and I'm not asking now because you people are grown up and well understanding. Okay. So if not, you should aware now. Okay. It is not like that keeping silent like yesterday. It is not going to give you something, but hopefully whatever I'm talking, people are noting down somewhere, right? Making your own notes. Right? Otherwise, there may be some people who are switch on sleeping also. There may be some people who are okay, keeping, oh, my mind is good. I can remember for long. That is going to, that is not going to helpful for you. So, right? So, because mind is very short, short memory, you will forget super fast certain things which are important. So unwanted things you remember forever, majority time, right? So that is again gift of human being by God. Okay. Yeah. So next topic is identification of publication of misconduct and complaints and appeals. So how we can, so we talked about various misconducts and how we can do it, but how you can identify, right? So there are various uh, ways to do it. Okay, one of them start with scientific misconduct. Right? Well, how it can be taken care. So here we are talking about especially the one who is always cut paste and doing things here and there, the one who always having the plagiarism and plagiarist, right? Plagiarism, the means every time there is a big plagiarism because he is cut and paste and doing. He is not the original owner. He is not a original author. He is not. He is what do you call getting somewhere and putting it. So that can be easily be caught. That's why we are calling as a most common form of scientific misconduct is the plagiarism and means what you call taking from somebody's from main authors as if it is own work which is publishing in that case. So that is not what we are expecting that how well it is going to be, right? And second one is the international versus intentional versus unintentional plagiarism, because scientific more common is the plagiarism which I mentioned. So there may be some people who are intentional, there may be some people unintentional, right? So what is that intentional plagiarism? Okay, so 1 second. Every Friday is the meeting of my research scholars here. So since they felt that I am busy, they want to leave. I want to tell them, wait for some time. That's why I took 1 minute time. Okay. Yeah. So come back to uh, intentional versus unintentional plagiarism. So all of us know sometimes it happens. Even you write maybe possibility mapping or matching. So that is without your copying or looking for other manuscripts or the literatures, you are writing your own. So many times this unintentional happens by the individual. Probably it may be students or it can be a junior researchers because they are not aware of, the awareness is very less, and their ignorance of what are the words which are going to be, and they are not able to understand how unintentionally it is happened, right? So because of lack of awareness, ignorance, and because of their way how they do it, that is what we are talking about, unintentional. And intentional plagiarism happens when any author, any of you, deliberately copies a document which are, it may be from some sources or some publishing materials, or maybe somebody, some work which is uh, maybe from literature related. So whether you are talking about whether you are taking from published material or the copies of any documentation, from any documentation, it is you have certain things intentionally, right? You want to do something. Oh, my guide asked me to do it, these particular things, and hence I am going to do it. Okay, so I don't have time. Then only thing is copy from here and there and show it. That is not what we are talking about, right? It is once you do intentionally copying something, it is again easy. That can be easily identified, and again there it will come good plagiarism, right? The big number will increase, and based on that, from where it is copied, it can be identified easily, right? So even both the case, whether it is intentionally or unintentionally, the plagiarism is a little high, okay? And intentionally we can get which report it is, because here, because of unknownly people are doing unintentionally, whereas intentionally they are doing, then from where it is copied, which paper, and how, which published journal and all. So automatically it can take from there where you can able to identify easily. So this is what these people are doing. This particular author is doing. Okay, and that can be really to be avoided. That is what we are talking about. Intentionally and as well as unintentionally. Then whether it is plagiarism we are talking, what is the example of plagiarism there, right? So here you are taking, you may be having ideas, but you are not able to write down your own. But to people, we always say that you read more and more. The more reading gives you better writing as well. So if you are not understanding your own documents, your own data, your own results, and you try to follow somebody whose publications are there, and directly from there, paragraph to paragraph, or the section to section, you are going to copy it, then that is, we call it as a direct plagiarism, because it is you are intended, you can be seen that maybe some only data may be varying, but other things right up is as it is copied from from the other authors where easily can be caught into. So here, uh, there are variety of plagiarisms where we like mentioned about 0%, 5%, 10%, 20%, like that. But here, now all variety of plagiarism, we call it as a mosaic plagiarism, right? Mosaic plagiarism is where the author steals the not only the sections, subsections, and all even ideas also by somebody. So it is maybe unfortunately the other people, maybe it is like a friends, for example, we discuss about some topic and some things and all like that, right? So knowing the idea of mine, and you are going to write down certain things, and but you don't have any results in that to display and support the things. Okay, so idea may be good because you are copied, but the outcome is not that good. Okay, so finally they can able to. It is not only one case. The person who is having this type of misconduct, author is always does similar way to publish more and more papers. So in that case, again, the the thanks to plagiarism softwares where they can able to give us certain people, even those who are stealing the ideas from others. Okay, so there should not be any minimum number of words and all to be copied and does. So expected no ideas to be stealed and no ideas to be copied, no sections, no papers like that. Okay. What are the various causes and remedy of plagiarism? Right. So again, there are good journals and bad journals because the main remedy is what all of you know. If it is too much, they'll reject and they blacklist you, right? So that means you are doing intentionally. So that is identified. Hence, your paper not only be your paper in future, you cannot submit by name. Your name it goes automatically. They that particular journal people will reject, right? So there is no publication happens. That is one of the cause where it will come. Then so when you are given target of two papers or three papers or continuing your research work, okay, and maybe due to your lack of knowledge, maybe your laziness, and maybe fear of failure, maybe every organization may be giving target, okay. For example, our organization, it is a mandatory two journal papers, not conference papers, is mandatory for each faculty for per year. Okay, so if because of pressure you are not able to do or you have not done any work, then you just again copy paste and do something, or take ideas from students or the student paper you publish. So again, that rejection will come into picture. So main remedy is to rejection and blacklisting, and the advice to all of you is that avoid plagiarism by acknowledging the original source of data where you are taken, right? And that will really take care, even though you are not original contributor, right? So don't be first category to be thrown out or to be blacklisted. So you should be in category, even though plagiarism is there, when you are acknowledging, still they do uh, publish. And sometimes just acknowledging as we discussed earlier, won't work. So you need to, whatever data, whatever you things you are taking from others, you need to take permission for use of publication, right? Even though you are acknowledging, but the authors nowadays available their emails and applications and other things. But see to it, you are taking the permission, and which you will avoid, even though plagiarism is there, but still plausibility of publication of your articles. Okay, so anyhow, there are so many journals where there are examples are available. How what is the remedy for this type of plagiarism and duplicate and redundant publications. So here we are talking about what is the duplication publications we talked about earlier also, and redundant also. So here there should not be so-called overlapping, and whatever you are giving, there should be, if it is already published, you should not be repeated again, because we are talking about unethical. So you should know the clarity, and you should put as many as visible references as possible. So if you are not able to give the number of references, and if you are not able to following the publication ethics, then like plagiarism is one part. There is something called as copyright law. Under copyright law, the public ethics, publication ethics, uh, it may be available in each journal, and which can be editorial, or it may be publisher, it anything. So here, for example, people say that statement of some term work where the meta-analysis is done. So they say that 23%. So you are stating, oh, your work you done say 23.5%. So that is not significant. Okay. Avoid redundancy, avoid duplication, right? So try to publish your own data, which is very much useful. So why you be under offense by somebody, right? And once you have duplication, then if you want to prove that that is not duplication, or somebody copied from your side, so that evidences you should have, because it may so happens that somebody, you may be lazy enough to delay your work to publish, but somebody steals your data and start publishing, but same since already published, and you cannot put that. So maybe legally and other way you need to fight that why it is gone, your own data and all. So those things can come. So whenever you are, keep it secret, and see to it there's no duplication happens, right? And redundant happens. So so there are certain journals where they are given the example of ICMJE and all of that. So where public health is concerned, when certain information which is duplication, and surely that will be revealed by many people, right? So simple thing is avoid the duplication and redundant. So what are the mechanisms for the regulating research one can think of? So we always say that self-discipline is the best discipline, right? It is very impossible for others to really make you tune. Maybe there is always saying, right? you can take the horse to the water. It is very difficult to make it to drink, right? If you have self-regulation, you know, as a researcher, what are the ethical conduct, right? And once you know ethics and ethical conduct and whatever we talked till now, that is your primary author, secondary author, ghost author, guest author, okay? So all these things can be taken care, okay? So knowing whatever the to avoid unethical things, to avoid misconduct, to avoid complications, to avoid legal things and all. So based on your understanding, you should see to it how you will be self-regulated, so that plagiarism you are taking care, no duplication you are trying to do, and minimizing the plagiarism, no intentional plagiarism to be, right? And it is guidelines given by your specific societies and following that. Okay, so this is something on identification of publication, because they will easily find out, and you once you are able to take care, and things will be better. So maybe this is the last topic of today. Okay, uh, predatory publishers and journals, where there are a lot of things how we can be able to find out and all of that. So the Committee for Publication Ethics and ICMR, or then REC, or the Farmer Council and others also, whichever we are talking about. So need to see to it this before knowing that what is the predatory publication journals. So it is, we are talking about systematic for profit publications of the purportedly scholars content. That is like you peoples. It may be articles, it may be monographs, it may be books, it may be conference proceedings. In distinctive or prudent way and without any regard for the quality assurance, right? So it is especially coming out money making, right? So as I said even yesterday also, there are so many journalists mushrooming every minute, nothing less than international, right? And people also hurry because they want to, the institution, the organization asked to publish papers, and they are try to use the shortcuts, and oh, my paper is published, whether it is their UGC care journals, or whether it is PubMed, or maybe Springer, or IEEE, or something. No, nothing wrong. Okay, it is international journal of so and so. Okay, so what you need to, uh, because these are the people who are because of weakness of research, because producing the lot of so many PhDs. For example, in 2010, okay, when we count the number of PhDs in Mumbai University, hardly single digit numbers. You can easily count who are the PhD people. Okay, then 2012 or 13 or after 14, you see unlimited numbers. Now we don't know what is the count. Every college has at least 10, 15 people. Earlier, entirely, it is only 10 to 15 people. So it is becoming a money business for universities or colleges, or even this, because wherever conditions are there for colleges and all, you are going to publish one or two papers, and hence easy shortcuts is you pay money and get it published, right? So that is what which to be avoided. Okay, so here uh, what is the way to identify these fake journals, right? There is a, Thehindu.com is one of the site where you can also go, thehindu.com. So this is hindu.com. In that you can find out what is the fake journals and all. And what is the this journal about? Okay, here it will give clearly publication for researchers from manuscripts. There is no peer review at all. Okay, and they have no editorial board, and there is no uh, found publication in the either any location. So they have used publication charges. So this is one of the journals what the how we can identify whether it is a predatory journal or not. Why the people are publishing in this? Okay, so here, as I said earlier, so they wanted faster publication because they are doing it by pay the money and whatever research. There are so many pools like us, researchers, and where they can pay the money and they can able to do it. So that's why they are talking about this particular journals where mushrooming like anything. So what is the harm especially caused by this type of predatory journals? Here we are talking about uh, it is a low quality journals. Any rubbish things you submit, it is published in that, and they have correct literature where it is very difficult in that, and there's no quality, as simple as that. Okay, so they don't bother, they don't care anything quality at all. Okay, but they want only numbers, right? Quality is zero, quantity is as good as, and the money is too much. Okay, so how one can identify the predatory journals, right? So there are so many websites which are available, but one can see that no single individual is identified as a specific journal's editor with no formal editorial or review based or same editorial board for the more than one journal, right? So this is one of the way to check with that, which are the websites which we are talking about. Then the editor and or review board members do not have academic expertise, as I mentioned earlier. There are some people who are editor who is never done any qualification, but still they are the editor. They are the business people, right? So to make the money and uh, provide sufficient information or hides information about author's fee first, right? Offering to publish an paper and later sending an unethical surprise invoice. Oh, since your paper is published, and you can give maybe $100 or $200, something like that, or it may be Indian rupees. And you cannot find that journal any indexing, no proper indexing. Okay, so the name of journal is unrelated with the journal's mission. Okay, the name of journal does not adequately reflect its origin. When it is done, who is done, whether it is Indian, whether it is abroad or any other name, who is the editor, no idea, right? So they just say that it is applied to so and so institute of so and so country, right? They are not bothered about to specify the specific organization. So these are the some of the points. Maybe some more points are there for how to identify this type of fake journals. Okay, the publisher. Okay, the publisher has poorly maintained websites, so that will be seen easily. Okay, And dead links, prominent misspellings and grammatical errors on the website itself. This is what the people are making it, right? So easily we can able to, any professional person can able to check, oh, this website itself having so many uh, problems, then how you believe that this journal is the good one, right? And also the publisher makes unauthorized use of licensed images on their website, putting, attracting so many without any uh, permissions by anybody. And it is a, nowadays people talk about open source, but still you are publishing on your website of somebody's village, at least permission is required, or copyright or licensing required, something required, that cannot be, say when you are publishing, then that the things which is displayed on that. So republishing papers already published in other places and other journals, so they don't care, they'll publish any rubbish, as I said. Use boastful language claiming to a leading publisher, even though the publisher may only be startup or uh, NYC for the organizations, and minimal or no copy editing or proofreading. Directly submit, it will be published. And publishing papers, not at all academic at all. It may be some stories, something, something which we are not seeing such things. But still, any paragraph, anything is there, because you have not seen that it is the minimum contents which are required for the so-called good scientific paper. So anything rubbish, I am telling you, so they are ready to accept and publish it, right? So there you may be having something called as contact us. So here that page includes from any, there is no web, there is no email, there is no publisher, there everything will be hide. There is no contact us. Okay, and the publishes journals in the exclusively board, that Journal of Education or some name which is attracting you. Maybe it may be in the form of International Journal of Business, International form, Humanities and Technologies and XYZ and all of that. So these are the things which dangerous and where easily can be identified. So many times you should not fall in love with fast publications, do sufficient work, get some uh, good journals, and then easy for you to come out best researcher. So what is the warning signs as a summary of uh, predatory publishers and journals? One is website. Okay. So here we are talking about the misleading and false information and all. Maybe it is in the form of not having any indexing or matrices or membership or something, ISSN number and all of that. So that is from website itself we come to know which is fake journals. And the type of name of journals, what I talked about, International Journal of XYZ, like that, right? So that the title itself will be very much confused. Okay. Oh, A to Z can be accommodated in that. Maybe they are aware of NEP in advance, so multidisciplinary. So there is a way how they play the game. And there's no peer reviewing process, as mentioned. Anything you submit, that will be done, and cannot be found any ownership or management in anywhere in the website itself. And there's no governing body and editorial body. Everything is misleading, everything is false, and no full names, no appellation. In names are there. There's no contact numbers, no emails, no so and so. Right? Editorial team contact information is another thing missing. There is no copywriting and licensing policies in any way. It is initially it is not mentioned. Any author fees, suddenly you will get good love letter saying that this is the money to be paid. And process of identification is that again misconduct, where there's no description, whatever cases are misconducting and installed. And publication ethics is the another one where the uh, plays a big role, since there is no the standards, there is no originality in that. We can check what are the this type of people, how the duplication they are doing, how intentionally the intellectual properties they are taking from somewhere, how ethical oversight they look into, what type of conflicts of interest they have, and corrections and retractions and all of that. So these are the things which today I want to tell you, and thank you for you without break listening more than 3 hours. Okay, so here some journals are already there. Okay, so you can see that uh, there are certain, how you can find out, somebody was talking about yesterday also. You can check the various websites where you can easily find the which is the fake journal and which is the correct journal of your references, right? So any of this case you can go and find out. If there is no editorial, there is no instructions, there is no journals. So each case, suppose you are nursing, you can look into nursing journal. For everyone, there is a uh, think check submit. Think check and submit is the one of the website where you can really look after whether the journal of which journal you want to submit it. And there are other things where the ISSN number code is not available, URL is not available. So many things are there. So please be careful while submitting your good research work on any good journal. Don't submit in fake journals, priority where the faster and more money, any rubbish things which are going to be published to be stopped in that level. So you can go through that simple slides, which are the if something whatever we talked about till now, you can able to see the instructions which are there. Suppose you find that your paper is not up to that level, you need to have a option of withdrawing it. You can withdraw always. So no need of hurrying and doing wrong things, right? So you can always slow and study wins. Nowadays, slow and study and smart way you win, right? So do that. So this is what I want to give to all of you today. So how many people slept, I don't know. How many are awake, I don't know. How many had your evening snacks also, I don't know. But hopefully you got some insights of RPE, especially publication ethics. Not only you are as a author, but as even as a editor or start to end from submission to publication. So if any questions, I love to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear participant, now the floor is open for any question or discussion.
So I have one question.
Yeah,
Sir, sometimes words which we are using means IEEE has already defined few words
right,
like intrinsic word that from childhood we are listening intrinsic in connection with semiconductor.
right.
Okay, intrinsic semiconductor.
Hmm.
But nowadays I'm listening few lectures where it is connected with magnetic domain also, intrinsic magnetic domain.
Hmm.
I want to check whether this word is technically correct or not, 100%
It
logically.
is, this is when you are differentiating the materials, then where we are talking about But it is dialectic, this, that, and all. That is what. So the type of the combination what they use and how it can be made. That purpose they mentioned this, but it is the right word because it is come from long.
No, intrinsic magnetic domain. You
No,
said.
that anybody can use that. Interesting is
Okay.
nothing wrong with that.
But how to verify it? Whether
No, verify means you say nowadays intrinsic even medical people are using it. Is it not necessary only magnetic or electrical something like that?
so intrinsic word once that definition is written, that word I can connect with any.
Any domain. That is what
Okay.
happening nowadays.
Okay.
That
Okay.
cannot come as a plagiarism.
That will not come in the plagiarism, but
Right.
sometimes there be, because intrinsic means opposite word is extrinsic, not
Extend.
opposite, but
Right. These are
magnetic.
these
How?
are these are the certain words where we cannot change the meanings. That meanings will remain same, but where you are going to tag. So that is what
Mhm.
is going to happen.
Okay. Okay. ठीक.
So hopefully all of you might be, maybe I don't know, I cannot say enjoyed because of online. You are not going to get that much happiness seeing each other's face and enjoying things, right? So nowadays, thanks to COVID, that as I said yesterday also, if you want me to come Mumbai and give it, I would have not. But because of the internet and technology, it was there earlier also, but now more of us using to avoid the traveling and waste of time and all. So once again, my big thanks to all of you, and special thanks to Vice Staff sir. And yesterday Anuja was there. Today I think Abha is doing. Who is Abha? I don't know.
Yes, sir. Abha Tiwari, sir, research scholar at SPIT.
Okay, you are a research scholar. Okay.
Sir, even I have two questions to ask. May I ask?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to researchers looking to initiate collaboration with organization or industry for their research?
No, say nowadays for anything to collaborate or go for it, you need to maybe having some certain background, right? And if you have not done some work on some publications, people do ask what are the work you done previously. So once that your base is prepared, then you can go into respect to organization, even for funding also. You won't get just funding just like that. So you need to show your credentials as you are really worked on and you done something like that.
Okay, sir, one more question.
Hmm.
Like, what challenges did you face during your research journey, and how did you identify the problem statement for your research work?
So for me, it becomes so easy being in IIT Bombay because this is the project which is came from ARDB, Bangalore, Advanced Research Board, where it was 35 lakhs. The project was they want to build a system where they need to uh, design certain antennas with complete system for the ISRO now ISRO satellite we are talking about. Okay, so since it is a funding project, we know what they wanted to be done by us, and luckily, no need of thinking about searching for project and all. So project is there. That is what done. IIT is benefited. I also benefited.
Okay. Any other questions, participant?
So
Okay.
they may be sleeping. We can wake them up going home. I don't know because
Okay.
yesterday also they are very silent
No, no.
and.
Sir, then I have a quote to share with you all.
Mm,
Uh, like you said, slow, steady, and smart wins nowadays. So now I can say today, reader or listener, tomorrow will be a leader.
yes, surely that is correct.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me now summarize the key insight or takeaways from the today's session. Sir started with explaining different ethical issues like why is it important for learner or a researcher to follow different ethical code. Then sir very well explained different timelines of research ethics like integrity, honesty, objectivity. Later, sir also explained different conflict of interest, then what best practice and standard setting we should follow while writing publications and different publication misconducts are also very well explained. We also got to know about different ethics related organization and their role. Then sir explained different type of authors, and at the end sir also told us about what is plagiarism, causes and remedy of plagiarism, different examples of plagiarism. At the end sir also explained warning signs of fake journals. Okay, now I want to express my gratitude to each one of you for joining us today. Your presence makes this event all the more meaningful. I want to thank our speaker, Dr. KTV Reddy, for sharing their knowledge and giving valuable contribution. Sir, your insight have been instrumental in advancing our research journey. We look forward to future opportunities for collaboration. Thank you once again. Have a good day. Thank you
As,
so much.
as I said yesterday, Rao sir is the one who made me in difficult situation also to come and present it. If anybody would have called me, I would have said, thank you, I don't have time.
Sir,
Because
even
of,
I caught up one more keyword of your session, breaking news, you said. While
yes. Yeah,
sir,
nowadays, everything will be breaking news only.
obviously, sir, breaking news sells newspaper.
Yes,
So it has to be.
right.
Yes, sir. So, dear participant, tomorrow we have a session at 3 p.m. on Research Matrix by Dr. S.T. Gandhi, sir. So stay connected. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. KT, sir.
Th-
Thank you very much.
Thank,
You know,
thank you. Thank you. I was mentioning you only. Because of you, I can able to. Otherwise,
I know him.
what is the connect for what you call delivering and putting this much efforts and time for the Mumbaikars?
Yeah.
They don't care each other. They don't care their own family also. That is what I can observe there. Because I was there in 27 years in Mumbai. Maybe I don't know how many of them are aware of that. I was in 27 years in Mumbai, 3.5 years in Nashik, and last 2 years here. So my career is in only in Maharashtra.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes. So thank you, sir. We'll,
Thank you, sir. Sir, see you soon.
we also try to invite you for IoT and other things
Yeah, yeah.
on physical mode. No
Yeah,
online.
yeah, sure. It's my pleasure, sir. Always.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.